Is eUnited going to make this a 3-1 game, or is Rival going to come back for the tie? Everyone, it is time for picks and bans of game number 4 for Rival versus eUnited.
Rival, after losing that last game, opt for first pick. No surprise here. The team with the first pick has been relatively successful thus far, and I think that we might see Ryzen be banned by eUnited this time. They've been very consistent about their bans with the Fafnir and the Athena this time around. I'm not sure.
Rival has also been super consistent on this Robin ban. Even though iceice has the capability to play it, we've seen it in the past, just not really wanting to permit the chances of eUnited looking to have that as a response pick.
And do you ban out Ryzen and give them the Bastet that they did so well with game 1?
Well, it's actually been Athena as the second choice ban selection all 3 matches so far for eUnited, but recognizing the prevalence and just how important this Ryzen actually is for the mid lane between Venenu and Wlfy, I think it's mostly because of the fact that these 2 players in particular are just so excellent at really taking advantage of what Ryzen can actually provide to a squad that it's best to not take that risk.
Wow, we see an AMC ban coming out. What do you think of that, Anatoly?
I think that means that the Ullr pick is going to be prioritized pretty early on from Rival, or maybe they want eUnited to draft it instead. I think that Vote has other intentions. He's been known to play the on her before. He's done it in this set. He's done it in the set previously.
Did you see in game 1, he actually blocked an Ullr stun with his pillar? He is phenomenal with on her. He's just very natural with it.
That happened around level 4 marker. Ryzen is indeed banned. This leaves Athena open. However, Callus could lean on this global presence goddess, and it's hovered over. I think it's gonna be locked in.
There we go, Athena being picked out for Team Rival.
Now that Athena has finally been selected for Rival, I believe that this is where we might even see the Poseidon coming through for Rival as well. That's a classic combination that they love getting to run, and I'm not really super surprised to see eUnited responding by stripping away that Osiris from Deathwalker.
On top of the Poseidon, you also have to consider the potential Isis threat that's going to be synergizing very well with the Athena taunt, and I think that, you know, every now and then Rival, when they have Athena on Callus, sometimes there's going to be an Ares.
Oh man, we saw this yesterday. The Athena Poseidon combo is so good. The taunt into the whirlpool with that cripple on top of it, you can't do anything.
And keep in mind, when Rival were running this draft, that was actually one of the matches where NRG were probably favored to win. It was just one slight mishap on that Phoenix Siege that ended up turning the tide for a Rival. And again, they're definitely a team that knows how to play this sort of composition from behind, if that were to be the case, because of how much pressure eUnited has opted for so early on.
I'm really interested in just the shift from day 1 to day 5 of how they've been focusing the solo lane and shifting that over to the mid lane, shifting that over to the jungle. We don't really see them prioritizing too much, except for that Erlang Shen now coming out.
It's going to be a very aggressive pick now. This probably is going to go to Deathwalker. He's going to try to fight fire with fire as Benji locks in the Osiris. Could potentially flex to Scream, but not if that Bastet gets locked in yet again.
And there it is. As I was saying, if you ban out the AMC, you're going to give them Bastet.
And Bastet, very similar pairing alongside of the Kakalin, but even though it's with the Osiris this time, there's still so much presence in that early laning phase that the Bastet should be able to farm pretty efficiently, but it's not going to be as safe as it was the last time that Scream got to play this Bastet into the Poseidon. If he's even slightly off with that pounce, that Whirlpool is going to end up being the death of him.
All right, what bans do you guys want to see coming out of here for eUnited?
I think eUnited needs to take away some heavy hunter choices because they have the next pick. Specifically, potentially, the Ullr, maybe lock in Hui for themselves. Ullr's actually locked in for eUnited, scratch that thought, but they do need a hunter as Rival.
On her is up there, which we saw them play in game number 1. We've also seen Vote play Hachi, maybe even a Hui.
I think that eUnited is probably going to take away. I wouldn't have expected the Nemesis ban, but knowing that iceice has that in his arsenal, probably a little bit safer since Nemesis worked out so well the last time Rival ran this composition. But I want to see Rival banning away gods such as Geb and maybe even the Sylvanus here from eUnited. Sylvanus just because he kind of funnels more into that early pressure presence that eUnited is looking for, and I think that the Geb is just really good against the taunts.
I think that personally, eUnited is going to have an aggressive comp on PBM specifically. Maybe run back the Amaterasu, really giving more mobility for their draft to just penetrate the back line and make Poseidon on Wlfy just more difficult to play. With this Nemesis ban, I'm expecting a potential Susanoo ban from eUnited, not allowing iceicebaby to get the mobility and the engagements he prefers.
Rival banning out Discordia there. It looks like they're not really too worried about the Morrigan because of her poor performance in game number 2.
But they should be worried about the Morrigan this time around. eUnited, they love having those 6 kitties potential running around the map. Those 6 cats from the Bastet possible transformation on Morrigan just gets way too hectic to try and handle.
Can take out Gold Furies and even Fire Giants at the blink of an eye, so if Rival doesn't have vision, that could be an issue.
Seems to be a pause right now. Nope, the Susanoo ban coming out. Looks like you called it, Taco.
It's actually kind of crazy, though, to think about the fact that with the Susanoo, that would have been just another additional pull-in. Like Tolly was mentioning, iceice was having such great control, and it's just almost impossible to really determine which direction Rival really wants to go. There's always the possibility of running back the Circuit now even, or the Ratataskor, but it's been quite a bit since we've seen any Ratataskor come out.
I would love to see a Thor here, honestly. The long-range setup between the wall. We haven't really seen it often here at HRX, but Athena, Poseidon, Thor, that's almost as old school as you can get.
All right, picks are about to get started, everyone, with the bans now being done eUnited. Hovering over Sylvanus now and locking him in for PolarBearMike.
A little bit more of a conservative pick as opposed to the Amaterasu from last game. There needs to be some form of peel for the back line. You can't all be charging at Rival at every given second.
That's true. Over-aggression in game number 2 is what was their downfall. So maybe taking a step back, seeing that they do have a bit more of a utility comp with Athena and Poseidon's cripple, they're going to be a bit safer.
And that was also the downfall of NRG in some of their games against Rivals. So eUnited going to play a little bit more safe here. Hachiman being locked in from Rival for their 4th pick. Still needs a 5th one here. They need their jungler. Oh.
Bellona?
I think they already have their jungler. It's actually the Erlang Shen that Rival's trying to run in the jungle for that classic turtle knockup combination. If it's a Bellona in the jungle, I'll be thoroughly surprised.
You ban out Discordia and Morrigan, and we'll pick Zeus.
This is the traditional Season 3 Super Regional strategy. Sylvanus and Zeus were the priority, and now eUnited, they're running it back. PBM rallying the crowd behind them as they're trying to secure their first HRX title.
All right, guys, looking at these 2 comps, is it going to be 3-1 for eUnited, or is Rival going to tie up this game?
I think eUnited have it right here, right now. Just look at that crowd.
eUnited have everything riding in their favor right now, including the picks and bans, because this is the draft that they wanted to run, and these are the guys that they wanted to play.
All right, everyone, make some noise. It's game number 4 of the Grand Finals, eUnited versus Rival.
One question. How many more games?
Man, I was gonna say Rival. I loved the first 3 picks. I'm a big fan of Poseidon, you know that. One of the few gods that I like even more than Poseidon is the Z-Man. As soon as eUnited locked in that Zeus, I really like where eUnited's comp is. Now, Rival does have to be concerned because of how much damage eUnited has, but on the same token, eUnited has to be concerned because of how much CC Rival has. That is consistent crowd control that is going to be thrown at eUnited on a couple gods that have trouble getting away from crowd control. I already touched on how Ullr has trouble last game. Now Sylvanus and Zeus. These are gods that can kind of get gobbled up by things like Athena taunt into Poseidon Whirlpool.
And exactly, I like to think about the defensive side of things as Wlfy makes his adjustments. Athena, mitigation, Bellona, mitigation by way of the ultimate. A lot of what eUnited are going to be bringing out as far as damage is concerned, Rival have a bunch of tools to deal with.
They really do. In the cripple, I'm very surprised that Bastet is picked by Screammmmm into that consistent cripple from Rival, but that's just the confidence that eUnited is playing with. I think it could potentially come back to bite them. I just loved the Athena first pick, straight into the Poseidon right after Ullr was locked in for eUnited. I really feel like Rival had a good idea of where this draft was going. The one thing that surprised me about Rival's draft was that they went for the Bellona when I really thought Dodgy would have been a perfect selection in the jungle. Beads Forcer can take advantage of the fact that beads are down. I really feel like that would have been a pick that might have synergized a bit better.
Well, whatever the pick may be, the game is number 4. You know, before this whole series started, Ryan, I said if we finish in 4 games, it will be North America. But if we make it all 5, it will be Team Rival up on top. And right now, after last game's performance, this looks like eUnited are ready to wrap things up right now.
It really could be. I mean, they're looking like they've played lights out. I was talking to some of the eUnited guys between games during their break. Venenu was saying he feels like it should have been a 3-0 if he didn't drop that kill on the left-hand side in game number 2. That is the type of confidence that eUnited's playing with right now.
At the same time, Deathwalker has the character that he made a name for him. He created an entire meta with this character. You know, Hindu wasn't just making a funny phrase, he was the meta creator. Like, he created that meta with just Bellona.
Look at the meta that eUnited's trying to play right now, pushing in that mid lane as fast as possible. Kalas here just to support alongside Wlfy. Vote actually left alone in the duo lane. This is something that we haven't seen a lot of as of late. It's on the right-hand side, Deathwalker going for Scream.
And there's a slow, and Deathwalker answers back with one of his own. Now, DW able to put out some damage by way of the hammer, but it's 1v2. Benji's fine, and the blue buff will be okay.
That's a long amount of time to not get any experience as Vote gonna dash in to PandaCat. Takes a decent amount of damage in return, but still gave more than he got. That was a lot of time by Deathwalker and iceicebaby to get no gold and no experience. And Benji, that's the type of confidence you expect to see this guy play with. He's the only one out of all 10 players who has been in a Worlds Final before, playing under the name Salt Machine Season 2 with Enemy. Certainly looks like he's been before.
Right, you know, eUnited is sort of the spiritual successor to that Enemy. Nice body block on Wlfy, but Bastet damage not gonna be enough. Wlfy will be alive with a hair of HP. So for right now, eUnited, aggressive as they should be, but not getting paid off. Notice Wlfy has the speed.
And I like that adjustment because Wlfy is the only one who could have picked that up with how aggressive iceicebaby and Deathwalker wanted to play on that right-hand side. And Poseidon's so quick already that getting that speed buff can really lend itself to rotating around. Now, at the same time, iceicebaby's just going to be more impactful at this time. Rotations that Erlang Shen out of the jungle is going to make just mean more than a level 3, level 4 Poseidon. But once Wlfy ticks over to level 5 and has the option to unleash the Kraken, all of a sudden those rotations can end up meaning a lot.
Yeah, I mean, the Poseidon is your typical Magikarp Gyarados situation, right? Before level 5, he's a completely different character. But once he does have that Kraken available to him, the true burst potential comes out and sort of shows its face. But there's also the other side, which you touched on briefly, that cripple Whirlpool can almost take away the spotlight that the Kraken demands when you have characters like Scream on the Bastet.
Poseidon is a utility mage. I will scream that from the mountaintops forever. Kraken just fills the role until that Whirlpool is going to end up being...
Okay, I get it. I don't know if I agree, but Benji right now, he doesn't get much of anything except the damage. There's the tower shots on the enemy. Benji falls down. It's Deathwalker for the first blood.
But here comes the rotation. Venenu taunts it off. He's pretty low here. Deathwalker is going right for Venenu, forces out that ultimate. Detonate should be there any moment now for Ven.
No, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Nowhere. Deathwalker. What is that, Bellona? Not so easy? Didn't think so. 1 kill for Rival, none for eUnited, and already Rival looking to stretch this to game 5.
Good start for Rival, and it's on the right side of the map in the pressure from Rival in the mid lane, giving Wlfy a god that he can easily clear the wave with in the early game and have some mobility. That was the problem with the Ra. Ra can clear early, but the mobility, the chance to match rotations. Venenu starts off towards that lane a little bit sooner, but only arrives a moment before Kalas and Wlfy. That pressure from the mid lane ends up saving Deathwalker and keeping Rival's lead intact.
The fan favorite, I think. You mentioned that your favorite combination was Wlfy on the Ra. I want to see Wlfy on Poseidon in all of these games. It's so effective. He understands, again, talking about the intricacies of the characters. You can pick Poseidon up and crack in somebody in the brain, but you really want to have to understand how to manage your passive, how to do all of the other things that make Poseidon such a strong character.
And that's why I love how much CC Rival is drafted around it. I mean, you beads the Athena taunt, cool. iceicebaby's there with a taunt of his own. You beads the Deathwalker ultimate, Vote can stun you out. You know, there's so much potential for just outright catastrophe for eUnited if they lose relics and all of a sudden are on the receiving end of a Kraken.
And if you're going to have all of those beads available, you don't have an Aegis.
Exactly. And even if you do have Aegis, it's not going to save you from being crippled and slowed once Wlfy picks up a Gem of Isolation. That's why I think Poseidon could be so impactful. If he's the only source of CC and everyone on the other team can get Aegis, he feels very weak. But if you have a team that's forcing you to get beads and not have Aegis, then not only does that open up the door for multiple CCs, but something like this.
Collins finds his taunt, Scream finds his beads, and you'll be safe. You always loved the Poseidon and the Zeuses. I mean, these are the two gods that I think of when I think of you. You couldn't hit a Kraken to save your life, but you understood the other side of the god. Talk to me about that.
Wait, I couldn't hit, oh, it's fine. That's totally not true, but it's cool. Look, Poseidon is, like I said, a utility mage. He's there to lock down the opposition. Now, part of that lockdown is stunning and knocking them up with a Kraken that just coincidentally does a lot of damage in the early game. In the late game, it's a control tool. It's a heal tool, and that Whirlpool is the most critical part of Poseidon's kit. I honestly feel like you can miss a Kraken and still win a team fight without it because of how strong Whirlpool is. If you misplace a Whirlpool in the middle of a late game team fight, you probably just lost your team the fight.
What also I love about these two mages, as Scream jumps over the wall, Kala's threatening, and why they always come to mind when I think of you is because you had to spend a lot of, you had a jungler that didn't show love to your mid lane. He was all over the rest of the map. And so you ult for the hammer. You had to do a lot of self-peel, and that's what these mages do. They don't necessarily peel, but they fight back. Scream jumps on top of Wlfy, Whirlpool Kraken on his feet. If anybody jumps on top of Venenu, he's gonna make it rain and detonate right in their face. Both of these gods can turn and burn, and I think that's very important with the way that these games have gone.
I mean, who's the leader of the cult of Poseidon? It's Papa Lobster. Have you ever seen Papa Lob get peel? I haven't. There's a reason why. They do it by themselves, and Wlfy needed that in game one, or in that last game, in game 3. As the Ra, very little self-peel. You can move around, you're pretty quick, you can do your heal, and then you just kind of pray that they miss. Poseidon can make you miss with his speed, with the slows, with the knockback from the tidal surge. All of those do very well, and it's something that wants to be up close and personal, like a Bastet at times, like an Osiris will, basically all the time.
So this time around, Team Rival are able to pick up their first blood, but that's basically it. eUnited have essentially tied the game and stalled out this early game, which is odd as Kalas ults his way all the way to the left-hand side, because everybody's on the right-hand side. And that means it's Gold Fury time. Hey. This should be free.
Now PandaCat knows this is happening. Ward coverage there for eUnited. Not going to be able to close the gap. Rival get the first Gold Fury. That means we can pack it up, right? Every team that's gotten the first Gold Fury's won the game, so we can just start game 5 now?
Oh yeah, United should definitely have 6. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, more or less.
Well, right now, there's the taunt that's going to help out. PolarBearMike, however, Kalas is going to go down. Venenu puts eUnited on the board.
If you are struggling against Athena, you're saying, this character is insane. She dashes, she taunts, it's so hard to deal with her. That's how you deal with Athena. You immune the taunt, whether it's by beads or by a CC immune ultimate, and then you punish her for daring to get close to you. And that's what Zeus does perfectly. eUnited knew that Rival was gonna pick Athena. There was no doubt in their mind that Athena was going to Rival, but it ends up working out because of their picks after that. Yes, Kalas has a chance to really impact this game.
Check out Scream, back in, hits both the Razor Whip and the Hail, but the Pounds will do it. Nice beads, nice dot. Scream could pay, and he will. Vote with the answer back. It's a 2-2 game.
PolarBearMike could be in a little bit of trouble. There goes the ultimate on the right-hand side. Benji gets soloed by Deathwalker.
And the crowd understands what's going on here. iceicebaby will get detonated. and he pulls the trunk of horn, and one more time, Venenu puts one in his kill column.
PandaCat gonna jump into vote, keeping the aggression going.
Nice taunt.
Taunt not quite enough. Venenu's gonna get it with the chain lightning.
And Venenu rocking the skin. He wants to win this game and bring it home for North America.
So appropriate from eUnited's mid laner. And that's the Zeus play that you love to see. You think someone's getting away, the detonate's right there. Two people next to each other, chain lightning them into the ground. eUnited looking to even this game up. Now that gold difference basically minimal. XP actually in eUnited's favor by a decent amount, but Rival's heart still beating, particularly on that right-hand side.
Oh yeah.
With Deathwalker getting that solo kill.
That solo kill is a really big deal for Team Rival. Not only will it put DW up 2 levels to his opposition, Scream gonna miss one shot, finds the ultimate, but here comes Kalas, damage on the Scream. Taunt's gonna follow up, there's a shield wall, tick, 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 with the damage as well. Bludgeon, where'd he go? Back to the fountain.
Deathwalker just running this game from Rival. This is exactly what Rival needed this entire set. Someone to go one-on-one with Benji and win.
Make the statement. Man of the horse. Forces out the Aegis. There's the stun with the Yajutsu. And he's going to follow up. And there he is. One shot, one kill. iceicebaby finds number 5.
Venenu has the beads, gets met by a Kraken, and Kalas right there, pulls him right back in. iceicebaby looking to chase him underneath the tower.
Booted.
Rival
Booted.
gets another.
6-4. Team Rival, eUnited. 10 minutes of play, 10 deaths.
This reminds me of old Rival. Just chaos across the map. Solo lane kill, duo lane kill, mid lane kill. This is where Rival got their start. All of a sudden, during the season, they learned how to win the slow game, how to draw it out, how to play passively. Now with their backs against the wall, one game away from being eliminated here in these finals, what do? They go back to what they know, and that's just straight murdering people.
Hachiman is a new character, but other than that, if you screenshotted this left side of the screen outside of Vote, I would say they're playing earlier this year, maybe even the end of last year. The style of play, the characters they've selected, you just go back to what you're used to, that hometown feel. Mama's cooking. That's what Team Rival is dealing with right now, and it's why they find themselves ahead. Go with comfort. That's where you win.
I absolutely love it. Now, despite Rival looking to get kills and getting kills in 3 lanes, back to back to back, still don't get any objectives out of it. They already got 1 Gold Fury, but not enough to give them a real lead. Every game that eUnited was able to get golds, they started off with Portal Demons, and that's kind of the small bump to give you the lead to get the Gold Fury. Rival kind of skipped that step. They go straight to gold, and that's totally fine, but they don't have that commanding lead quite yet. Still early, and this composition really excels in the mid game, so Rival has set themselves up for success nicely. But if eUnited could sneak a Portal Demon, if this next Gold Fury sits there for a while and goes to eUnited, or Rival lose some members trying to go for it, eUnited is right back in the driver's seat, because eUnited's composition is equally good in the mid game.
But what I really like is Team Rival's build path. eUnited going to go ahead and grab some vision, buy that Gold Fury because they know how important it is. Look, eUnited starting to build tanky, and right away, Spear of the Magus.
PandaCat doesn't have beads here, gonna get knocked up, can't even jump away! iceicebaby gets number 3, and that's a perfect timing. Now Scream gonna jump in looking for Ice, taunt good, and the sprint continues to push that Erlang Shen out of range.
It's not gonna be enough, and eUnited have pushed, and they're going to think about the Gold Fury. But I think that's all they're going to do is think about it, because Team Rival can absolutely come back to fight. You can see United walk right on past. They do not want to pull that objective. Team Rival still absolutely ready.
Just great recognition by Rival. PandaCat being just way too aggressive with his positioning, not having any wards. It doesn't matter if there's a ward there for Rival or not. If they see an Ullr standing there, even if you're already in axe stance where you can jump away very quickly, who cares? I mean, if you don't have beads, Athena taunt at this stage of the game is basically death guaranteed.
Yes. I mean, you've got Athena taunt into Deathwalker in general. Athena taunt into Kraken, Athena taunt into Boat. Yeah, I'm with you. Anytime you get taunted, you're probably dead in a matter of moments. And Rival dealing with eUnited, keeping themselves up ahead by about 3,000 gold.
Scream gonna head towards his own speed buff. This is the time where eUnited wants to slow the pace down. This is how you stop a team that's just trying to fight you all over the map, is you spread out and you try and keep ward coverage heavy. You try and make sure you know where those rotations are coming. That's where this Athena can be really potent, because wards don't really help you against a global ultimate that's gonna jump her across the map. But overall, eUnited needs to slow it down right now. Get their relics to the point where everything's up. Right now, that's the case. Beads up on all 3 carries who have purchased it for eUnited. Now they can afford to play a little bit more aggressively, but still probably want to wait until Venenu's able to back, which he does right now, and pick up his second relic, almost certainly going to be an Aegis.
Touched on this before PandaCat fall down. The Spear of the Magus for the mid lane Poseidon, nice and early.
Love it, love this early spear. It just makes it so you're basically doing true damage. It also enhances how much damage Kalas is gonna do. Shield Wall does a good chunk of damage whenever they can sit in it for the full duration, and the idea behind this entire composition is to make them sit in a one spot for a long time. Now, I would have preferred to see Wlfy go for an early Gem of Isolation here to make sure that they can really lock down anybody on eUnited, especially without a lot of winged blades quite yet for anyone on eUnited. In fact, Venenu is going for something defensive, probably going to be a Spirit Robe. I love the pickup, but still not going to help you if you're just sitting still, basically, in a Whirlpool.
Portal Demon started by Team Rival. Portal Demon finished by Team Rival. Left side, Scream tries to attack Kalas, who's already relatively tanky, just has the boots, but still able to make things happen. Vode, however, takes a bunch of damage from PandaCat, piloting that Ullr, ton of burst. Here comes PolarBearMike and Scream, 2 players deep. This could be trouble.
Aegis good, but Venenu's right there to knock him off the horse. PolarBearMike picks up Kalas, and now eUnited gets ahead right back towards that goal.
He's not even supposed to be there. He's the scary to pilot mage. He's the guy that you can turn on, and all of a sudden, Venenu from the backside takes the player down.
Gold Fury gonna go down here for eUnited. This is the first time teams have split Gold Fury so far in this set, at least during the relevant time, and eUnited evens it up. Again, what does it come down to? Mid-pressure. Venenu beats Wlfy between the tier 1 and tier 2 towers and knocks Vote off the horse, but really the poke there from Scream. I'm kind of sitting here shaking my head saying, what is Scream doing? Ulting Athena there, it doesn't make sense. No kill potential. He's just thinking 2 steps ahead.
Exactly.
There was never supposed to be kill potential there. Bring him low, set him up. PBM's right there, blinks over the wall. Patience with the ultimate, actually waits for Vote to use the dash. Make sure that you could hit both of the Wrath of Terra. eUnited thinking ahead.
And eUnited getting into the head of Team Rival, something that Rival actually excels at. We saw last game how Kalas would just blink on PandaCat, 4th beats. Nobody's there. There's no follow-up. Just sort of making eUnited feel a little trepidatious about their next move and question things, right? So eUnited take a page. That's Scream directly taking a page out of Team Rival and just ulting Kalas. So that Kalas goes, what are you doing? And then they can finish the sentence with their teammates. Getting in the head of your opponent is very important, and I don't mean by taunting and by BMing. I mean by making these moves that make you scratch your head, wondering when the other shoe will drop, because it won't always. And as soon as you plant uncertainty into a player's mind, they second guess everything.
This is where Rival wants to go. Blink in onto Scream. Doesn't have the purification beads ready right there, but still has to use the Aegis just because of the threat of that Kraken. Rival still looking for it. PolarBearMike get a blink forward, find 3 with that knockup, gets the beads from Wlfy, but Venenu and the rest of eUnited is going for Deathwalker, but he's still doing the damage.
The big taunt from the back end. Kalas lands down with the Goomba Stomp, Votes on the horse, and Rival will surround eUnited and put Scream on the bottom.
PolarBearMike is next. Benji forced to jump away. That fight, Deathwalker, Deathwalker, Deathwalker. He eats an entire duration Zeus ult and just kind of stands there. It doesn't really care. He's level 17. He's got the Pestilence. No penetration yet for Venenu because of the threat of the CC from the rest of Rival's composition. I was just about to say, before that engagement, Rival lose that last objective, but that's okay because their biggest lead is in the solo lane and they haven't engaged with it yet. What happens the very moment that Deathwalker steps out of his giant realm? He steps up and gets 2 kills for Rival and sets them up beautifully.
Okay, before I was talking about making weird plays to get in your opponent's head, what's Deathwalker doing soloing the Fire Giant?
Well, he's baiting Venenu in a little bit. Big damage on the Ven, locked inside that Whirlpool, and Wlfy's gonna bring him down with it.
That's exactly what he's doing. Just making sure there's one less player on the board. Deathwalker comes through, and 50%.
This is all because beads are down from eUnited. Rival don't really want to take this FG. They just want someone to walk in that they can taunt.
And there's going to be one. PolarBearMike wrapped up in the whirlpool. Fire Giant still pulled. Deathwalker goes up and down.
No, they got it! eUnited steal away the Fire Giant. iceicebaby is going to fall. Rival playing with fire, and they get burned. eUnited steal it away.
Wlfy a second, not even. Less than a second too soon with the Kraken. That one's gotta hurt.
That is a risky play. It is one that would have given Rival insurmountable momentum. But the momentum is the other way right now.
Clearly, eUnited have the momentum in the battleground, in the arena, and in the set. And that's the scary part, Ryan. If this game ends in 4, I think we all look back at that play.
I just don't know how much I love the call to commit there. I mean, that's trust in your mid laner. At some level, I deeply respect it.
Yeah, I respect it.
And Wlfy has been so good this season at securing objectives. But it only takes 1 point of damage.
Yeah.
eUnited, I don't even know how they got that. That was absolutely incredible.
It was just, I mean, like you said, you just have to entrust your mid laner to secure that. He doesn't come up. The Portal Demon, however, that's a nice play, and that'll again get stolen.
Look at Vote. He just goes, wow. Wow. Wow is right. I love that call to go for Portal Demon. Truly, I do. Because it's just showing Wlfy that you still have confidence in him. Yeah, you got this. It happens. You don't have Kraken this time. It's fine. It doesn't matter. We'll just secure it with Tidal Surge. Pretty decent secure ability. I love the confidence, the quarterback mentality. Who cares if you lost the last objective? We'll get the next one. But when you don't get the next one, how do you look at another objective in this game that's contested?
It's certainly going to be rough. Right now, the road is all but secure. Nice pull on Deathwalker. He's surrounded by eUnited jerseys. Even slowed, rooted by Osiris. Help from the cell. There's the dash, but the detonate from the Zeus is going to be enough. Scream cleans him up.
Nice Kraken there from Wlfy, but not enough damage to bring Scream down. He still had that Aegis available. Now, eUnited looking for iceicebaby. Caught underneath the tower and put down. eUnited knocked down 2 as they grab a tower and look towards the Phoenix.
53,000 gold, lead change. eUnited have control of this game. Fire Giant, 5 members strong. Venenu the only one without it, and he doesn't mind. Right side Phoenix already gone.
Rivals base exposed. Still in a spot where they can come back in this game. Still in a spot where they can fight against
This is a tight
eUnited in this game.
at 5K.
But man, you can't even defend this tier 2 tower. You've already lost 2 members. The 5v3 just isn't going to go in your favor, so now you have to give up this tier 2. And Gold Fury's up. Deathwalker and iceicebaby aren't going to be able to get there. That means another chunk of gold is likely to go to Rival. Now they need a little bit of that luck that eUnited had. They need to be able to try and steal this Gold Fury. It's already gone.
Just already taken care of. The damage out of eUnited very,
Look at that golden
high
hand.
right now.
Everyone from eUnited except for Venenu had over 2,500 gold in hand. And Venenu was just below 2,000. That is a massive, massive power burst for everyone on eUnited.
PandaCat just bought an Executioner and 2/3 of a Titan's Bane in one shot. The difference of damage that he was delivering last team fight to this team fight is going to be felt. And Team Rival have to realize that.
This was the Portal Demon steal, the INAP replay. PBM and Benji just here, and thank you very much.
What a surprise.
That's all me. That's all PBM. Easy for him, dog.
Yeah, no problem. And in typical PBM fashion, I mean,
that's all me, dog.
You know he had to do it to him.
He had to do it to him.
No choice, actually. Not a choice at all. 23:30 on the clock here in our game number 4. 19 kills in total. Team Rival do own the majority of them at 10. But eUnited have had the lead, and they own 7,000 gold above their opposition. eUnited lead the series 2-1 as well. After wrestling control of the early game here, they're close to owning this third one. And Ryan, if eUnited win this game, the banner for North America will be raised for the first time in years on the SWC stage.
Rival need to be able to be here to contest this FG. Good news is that right side Phoenix is the one that fell. Gives them an easy option to defend the fire waves and be here to defend the objectives. Now what Rival needs to do is bait out some relics, pull purification beads from anybody relevant and get some good damage onto them. Open up the door for extra damage later on.
Benji tangles himself and gets aggressed on as eUnited sort of counted on. eUnited wanted a team fight and Rival won't give it to him.
That's totally fine reset there from Rival. Kalas only has to commit the sprint. No, that's iceicebaby sprint, I should say, that had to be used, but that's in response to Scream's ultimate. Decent poke onto Benji, though he has enough HP 5 with the Stone of Gaia that it won't matter. Plus, he's got that sustain from PolarBearMike, who's going to blink in on the right.
Split up. Look at the split up. Benji's going to get Kraken and knocked back. There's Deathwalker controlling things. PandaCat takes out Wlfy. Where's the remainder of the team fight? Benji's low, but so are the guys on Team Rival. Kalas helps out, and that's going to be a retreat.
Venenu with a pretty decent chain lightning there. Deathwalker still in the foreground, trying to get away. Now as eUnited surge forward. PandaCat jumps forward. Scream jumps forward. Deathwalker falls to Venenu. And eUnited keeps on going because PandaCat
got two! Still pushing forward. They're at the Titan. Only 2 members to play defense. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to your new
potential champions. eUnited's looking for it, but Rival trying to defend. They can't do it!
And that's the game! That's the series! That is your Smite World Championship! Say hello to your North American victors, PolarBearMike and eUnited!
It looks like the curse is broken for PolarBearMike. North America, for the first time in 3 years, is your world champions!
This is just an absolutely incredible moment to witness, especially for eUnited. Huge congratulations to these guys, but that composition was just their style all the way through.
Specifically Benji, he's been here before, Season 2 for Enemy, and now he gets to be here again, winning it this time around with PBM and co.
I mean, it almost feels like Season 2 with a Zeus versus Poseidon matchup in the mid lane. Who could have imagined that?
Not too many people. Give it up for PandaCat.
And PandaCat, especially during this last match, really stuck out on the Ullr play. He had so many axes that just kept interrupting the engagements from a Rival. It just worked out perfectly for them.
And it was just the aggression all across the board from eUnited, honestly. The Osiris was also a solid pick for them this time around. No Cullen for them. They were able to just still penetrate into the back line. And I love the last 2 picks specifically. The Sylvanus and the Zeus. Going for the USA skin, it's just poetry in motion.
I mean, there were so many amazing plays there. That Bastet Fire Giant steal was crazy.
It was between the Portal Demon from Sylvanus. As soon as they replayed the route, you really get to just remember how insane the timing can be for all of these players. Because for PBM, that's not an instant where he's just doing it to do it. That's because he knew that that would be enough damage to potentially take it away.
Everyone, that is it. We are done here on the Alienware Analyst Desk. I can't thank you enough to be back here. HRX means so much to me, everyone. So thank you. I can't believe we got a North American team as your champions, and I believe we have them down on the stage with Gabriella for their interview.
Thank you, Kelly.
What an amazing set from both of these teams, but your North American champions, eUnited, representing to the fullest. So, my first question to you, PBM, do you consider the curse officially lifted?
It's done, yeah.
Everyone was playing like monsters, and some interesting picks coming there in the last game as well. Were you looking for a balance of just some innovative strategy with some things that you have practiced?
I think both sides were going to their pocket picks, and we just felt like our picks could deal with what they were trying to do. Truthfully, we got pretty lucky. I stole Fire and Portal Demon with a Sylvanus one, which should never happen, but yeah.
I also have a couple questions for Benji. A lot of people were anticipating the solo lane matchup because Deathwalker and yourself are considered two of the best players. How did you fare, and what were your just general thoughts facing off against him?
Deathwalker is still the best, if you didn't notice. But it was a fun game, or a fun set.
Well, we do have our casters here as well to announce the MVP, so why don't we go ahead with that?
Say hello to your Smite World Championship most valuable player. The finals belonged to Venenu. Now, Ven, your entire team, PBM's yelling at him to talk about game 2, so forget what I had prepared. Talk about game 2.
I threw the game? Yeah. Whoops.
Now,
I just gave them a chance, though. You know, like, they needed that.
PolarBearMike did say this was a 3-0, 3-1 if he was trolling.
Yeah, he was trolling for sure.
On a serious note, Venenu, you've come a long, long way. We saw you enter the scene as a low-level hunter with your own builds. We won't talk about them. But you moved on to the mid lane, and you've impressed time and time again. Talk about your experience here on the World Champion stage for the first time.
It's been amazing. All the fans cheering, like, really pushes me forward, and I really love it all. Like, Mike has helped me so much, and, like, this team helped me grow to be, like, the best I can, and I really do appreciate everything.
Congratulations to our MVP. What a wonderful performance. Before we close things out here today, I want to hear one more time for our champions, eUnited. From the crowd here, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty of celebration to continue throughout the evening for anybody that's interested. But that actually clears things up for our hi-rez Expo 2018. You have all been fantastic. Thank you for tuning in. I want to give a shout out to the production crew for keeping everything going, for the talent for telling the stories, the players for keeping the games interesting, and of course, the crowd for bringing the energy and being as passionate as you are, whether you're here, at home, in the Coke theaters. It has been an honor. So with that, bring that energy to the after party, everybody, because this does it for HRX 2018. Good morning, afternoon, evening, and good night.